Hello and welcome to the next bunker tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to follow up what we did last time where we laid down some guitar. We basically just recorded it but we didn't do anything else. In this one we're going to go and add a couple of extra effects to it basically in Logic. Logic has some absolutely wonderful effects that can be added. So let's go ahead and look at what we're going to do. So in this tutorial I want to show you about two things basically. First of all is Logic's amp designer, which is what's going to make the guitar sound good. And secondly, I'm going to show you a little bit about reverb, because reverb's really important. It's an effect that's used a lot, often overly used, but it's needed in many cases, and pretty much every song you hear on the radio has got somewhere along the line, it's got a little bit of reverb. It's usually very subtle, but it can add a lot to a song. So we're going to go ahead and go to the mix window, so Command 2, and it's going to take you to this window. And actually, if I just show you, I've looped the audio for the guitar, so this is what it sounds like. It sounds very basic, it sounds a bit rubbish, it sounds like it's a home recording. But let's just stop that, so I broke the score. Command 2 brings you to the mix window, and what we're going to do is we're going to add an amp. So if you go into inserts, this is where you're going to find all the effects and different things you can do to the audio you've recorded. There's all sorts of things. It's dynamic, so the EQ is really important. You'll find out about that in a further tutorial. There's reverb, but we're going to go on amps, and amp designer, select mono, and it'll bring this up. Now this is your basic amp that you can design yourself, so if we just press play we can add some gain to it. But what we're going to do is I just want to show you the presets for starters, because there are so many great presets within Logic. So let's have a look what could we add. I quite fancy a sort of vintage British sound, so let's go on that. Let's go on distortion, because you know everyone likes a bit of distortion. See what that sounds like. If we just do this, now that already sounds way better. Almost sounds different setups. You can do it by tone, so let's say you want a crunchy sound. Let's go on something a little bit different. What could we do? Saying that, I've just said that. Let's go with just a tweed sound. So this is a little bit more basic. Or we can add reverb from here actually if you wanted to do that, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. But yeah, this is how you can make an amp, because obviously I'm not recording through my own amp, I'm just going straight into the interface. You're going to need this if you want any sort of amp sound, so it's really important. It's really, really good. So yeah, let's go back and put the vintage British stack on. Yeah, that sounds better. Next thing I want to show you is reverb. Now, if below where you've inserted the amp, so all we did was click on here, hold it down by the way, I forgot to mention that before. If you click and hold, oh, you don't need to do that actually, what am I on about? Yeah, anyway, if you go into reverb and select, well, let's go with Space Designer for now. Now Space Designer is extremely complicated if you want to do your own reverbs. I tend not to use it. It's brilliant. It's actually, once you master it, you can really get some great sounds out of it. I tend not to use it too often because it's just so complicated, you can get yourself really bogged down. But it's good for the presets. So if let's go ahead and just put like a small play on for now. You can add stupidly large spaces. Outdoor spaces. Let's go with like a huge hallway. See what that sounds like. we just put the micro plate back on. So to tell the difference between. But yeah, that's how you add reverb. So they're two really useful inserts, Amp Designer and Space Designer. If you wanted to select another reverb, any of them are good. Play around, see which ones you prefer. Yeah, thank you very much.